Hare Krishna and welcome to our boot camp of step 10. We are already in step 10. Step 10 is daily personal inventory. We will be referring to the book. Let me actually show you the website so you can actually have access to the website because you will have some homework to do. Here it is. If you go to aa.org, then you will get this website where the whole book is available for free. So if you just go, you can actually find the book of Alcoholic Anonymous. So some of the page numbers that I will be sharing in the presentation today, you can access the book here. Okay, that was some basic information. Let's go back to the presentation. It's a little bit of a technical presentation today because we will be learning how to do this step. This is not like one thing and then done. This is something, it's a lifestyle. We learn how to do this. So step 10, continued personal inventory. This is called the set aside prayer. Dear Krishna, please enable me to set aside everything I think I know for an open mind and a new experience. Help me become willing to continue to take personal inventory, and when I'm wrong, promptly admit it. So, this is the prayer and this is the mood we are setting before we enter into the step 10. Okay, so this is the principle. The main principle of step 10 is perseverance. In other words, we want to live a life of recovery. We just don't want to do this like some crash course or just a boot camp and then be done with it. We actually want to imbibe the principles. We want to thrive overall, not just temporarily. So perseverance. Theme is live honestly, live authentic, live clean, so Krishna can live in our heart. The action that is required is detection, awareness, when what anartha is coming up, what is the thing. And then taking responsibility, owning the story. We covered these in the other sections. And the defect also, what is the defect? Is it selfishness? Is it self-centeredness? What is it? What is the usually everything arrives at selfishness, so the detecting the defect, and then the result of doing step 10 is peace and self-esteem. It's not that we won't be triggered, but we will have tools to deal with it. Then what do we do in step 10? It's so powerful. We watch out for resentment, fear, dishonesty, and selfishness. Resentment, fear, dishonesty, and selfishness. Often we ask this question, how do I know if it's Krishna's will or not? How to know? So these are the factors to know. Watching out. If I'm feeling resentful, cannot be, and I want to act on my resentment, it's not Krishna's will. If I feel fear and I'm acting out of fear, cannot be Krishna's will. If I'm dishonest, that's not where Krishna resides. And selfishness. So if none of them are absent, sorry, if either of them is present, it cannot be Krishna's will. And if all of them are absent, then it's Krishna's will. So just because I don't feel resentful doesn't mean out of fear I act or I conclude something. That cannot be God's will. So these four factors really help us to discriminate between self-will and God's will. Self-will has one of these items, either resentment or fear or dishonesty or selfishness. And the action, when we figure out there is resentment, what do? Actions are we pray, we talk to somebody, we do amends with ourselves, with others, with Krishna. Then, especially for selfishness, the cure is do service, being of service. And it can mean a outreach call. An outreach call can be a service. And when we're feeling dishonest, we make amends. And when we're feeling fear, we talk to somebody in recovery. So it's a very, very powerful way of proceeding with our recovery. The result when we do that, when we are resentful and then we pray instead of acting on it, the result is forgiveness. Forgiveness occurs in the heart as a natural result. And then If I'm feeling fear, when I discuss it, then trust develops. Trust because of trust in the person that we share, trust in Krishna, etc. When I'm dishonest, when I do amends, then the result is I feel honest, and the honesty attracts divine mercy. It attracts sattva guna. And when I'm selfish and I do service, what happens? The result is I become recipient of love, love for Krishna, love for others, and it's a great gift. Sometimes we think, when we see somebody very anxious and always greedy for money, etc., and we look at them and we say, they're always like in the absorption of money, they're always enjoying. How is that a problem? Well, the anxiety that they're experiencing is already a problem. And then the same way, the opposite. Somebody is always loving, we know of people like, say, Mother Teresa, or Vasudeva, what's his name? Like Prahlad Maharaj, Vasudeva Datta. Prahlad Maharaj's incarnation was Vasudeva Datta. And he was always kind, he was always compassionate, always happy for others. So what's the gain in it? That itself is a gain. So what happens is, as an outcome of doing this, is emotional sobriety. We are not acting from self-will. We become ready for God's will. Then this is the procedure. Morning, we think, and then daily morning we pause. If agitated or doubtful, we ask Krishna for the right thought, for the right action, and we constantly remind ourselves that we no longer are running the show. And we say to ourselves many times during the day, Krishna's will and not mine be done. Krishna's will and not mine be done. It's a practice. It's a practice. And when we outreach with each other, also we remind each other, today I was experiencing this and I was feeling so angry. And then I finally decided, after all the angry thoughts, I decided, Krishna, your will, not mine, be done. Yeah. So think, consider, listen. Listen to Krishna, listen to all the things that you learned in recovery. So in the morning, we think, consider, listen, and this is if we feel agitated, if we feel agitated, we ask Krishna, please, what is the right thought? What's the right action? And in the evening, we do inventory and see, how did that go? Was I resentful? Was I angry? Was I selfish or dishonest or not? That's the inventory. Okay, simple. Now, can I have a volunteer to read this? This is a process of doing this, step 10.
I can read for us. Spot check. In the moment requires self-restraint, honest analysis of what is involved, a willingness to admit when the fault is ours, and an equal willingness to forgive when the fault is elsewhere. Daily review. Constructively review our day. Construct examination of our motives in each thought or act. We recognize that we did act or think badly. We try to visualize how we might have done better, and we resolve with God's help to carry these lessons over into tomorrow and make any amends still neglected. Periodic review, similar to fourth step. We sweep away the wreckage of the immediate past. Annual spring cleaning, similar to fourth step.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So yeah, the key here is this thing. We need self-restraint. We need some honest analysis and a willingness to admit when the fault is ours. For instance, I had a situation where I was trying to do service, and there was some obstacles in trying to do that. Some people were trying to prevent me from it. And then immediately there was resentment, anger, etc. So taking a look at it, first thing is, yeah, I may say, no, I'm doing the 12th step already. I'm trying to be of service. Yeah, but the mood may be not correct. The mood may not be, my mood was not probably in a humble mood of service. It was more like entitled mood. Like, I'm doing service, so everybody has to get out of the way and clear the path for me. And then another thing was, God was not the center. It was more about me. I am doing the service. And then naturally I may say, oh, these people are preventing me from doing service. And then I got a little bit mad. And for quite some time, the mind was keeping going on, but they should not do this. And this is not a private property. This is public and whatever. I had my own reasoning and everything. But what it requires is the willingness to admit when the fault is mine. And sometimes the fault may not be external, it may be internal. My mood and my mentality is at fault. And if I don't admit it, we can keep going. I don't know if you have this experience. I had this experience where the mind keeps ruminating, overthinking. No, but I can say this and I can diplomatically resolve it in this way, and I can threaten them in that way if they don't allow me to do the service. All these things plays out instead of actually doing the self-restraint. Is this a Vaishnava way of behavior? Let me be honest about my side of the story. Let me keep my side of the story, the side of the road clean. And let me willingly admit to Krishna where I am at fault. What is my side of the story where I am not being 100% honest, 100% pure, 100%, what was the other one? Fearless, and not selfish, not to be in the mood of self. So sometimes these are very subtle, sometimes it's obvious, maybe a fight with a husband and wife. We're trying to defend, we're trying to manipulate, we're trying to get our way. It's easy to look through, but many times it's an internal state. Being honest with Krishna, the spot check is like, what am I feeling right now? I'm feeling angry. Okay, like taking a look at it and then being honest with Krishna. And then, yes, we can still act irritated, agitated. That's a different thing. But when we become aware, like I remember there used to be a time where two months of ruminating over a particular situation. The similar situation happens later after the recovery work, and it became like 2 hours and then 2 minutes. So it can get really, and then ultimately it should become so aligned, like Ambarish Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, very, very aligned. In the moment, we catch ourselves. Okay, we have this text. If we can have a couple of volunteers to read this as well. Oh, actually, this is step 11, but I wasn't sure if we have questions, and we can take for step 10, and then step 11 it's a continuation. It really is very much connected to the spot check and the daily review and the periodic review, and of course annual. It's like cleansing, basically cleaning your house. You have your day cleaning, and then there's weekly cleaning, and then there's monthly cleaning, and then there's yearly cleaning. But journaling really helps. I sent out a handout with all the steps, and there are page numbers and everything that you can access with the aa.org website if you want to go into that the theme in a deep way. You can take a look. But do you have any questions before we go to step 11? It's very simple. Actually, it's very simple. And what's the simplicity? This is the simplicity of it. Watching for these things. And I can actually show you I can show you the handout, some specific parts of the handout. Hmm. Clarify some things. So there are two prayers here. The daily prayer is, Krishna, have me watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop in me, have me immediately ask you to remove them from me and have me discuss them with someone. Because sometimes we like those negative emotions. We don't want to give it to Krishna. But remember, step 7, we're giving it. We don't want to carry the burden of it. So please, Krishna. But it takes fourth step. Before I become angry with somebody and start going on and on and on and on, it takes some awareness to see, wait a minute, I'm actually feeling revengeful here. I'm actually feeling frustration here. I'm actually feeling offensive, judgmental mentality here. So it takes some awareness. Then only I can ask Krishna, please crop these things away and take it away from me. Krishna, help me quickly to make amends if I have harmed anyone, and have me resolutely turn my thoughts to someone I can help. Help me, have me be loving and tolerant of everyone. This is the original prayer from the AA. So the point is, I am not in acting in love. So Krishna, there is something here that's not right. So that takes some awareness. And the other guidance prayer, Krishna, have me carry the vision of your will into all my activities. How can I best serve you? Will your will be done? Have these thoughts go with me constantly. Have me exercise my willpower along with this line. God, the source of all knowledge and power, grant me strength, inspiration, and direction. May your spirit flow in me. So this is the mood and the flavor of the step work that these are tools to apply Krishna conscious principles immediately without carrying problem. So the promises, can I have a volunteer to read this, please?
I can read the promises, and we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. For by this time, sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react suddenly and normally, and we will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We are not fighting it, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we had been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We have not even sworn off. Instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition.
Thank you. So if you actually Google, there are so many programs for food. It's called what? Food Addict Anonymous. And then there is, of course, people who have binge watching addiction, people, different things. And in step 10, the layers of how you do your inventory shifts based on what you're working on. And what I have seen is among devotees, mostly many of these anarthas is it's not a bottle of liquor or wine. It's usually thoughts. And they are more accessible, like alcohol, you have to go to the store, pay the money, take it. But for overthinking addiction, like drinking addiction, thinking addiction, for thinking addiction, you don't pay, you don't have to jump into your car, you can be in your pajama under the blankets, and you can still be succumb to that addiction of worrying and overthinking and ruminating, all that. So the point is, instead of fighting it, we don't fight in this process anymore. We say, okay, today I have been this. We get honesty, writing it down. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. And we do have taking personal inventory, but anybody has any questions? Then we can go through this. Any clarifications? Okay, so this is a very technical step. So there's not like we already did first 9 steps with introspection and everything. Step 10 is very practical. So taking personal inventory, how often should we take a personal inventory? There are different types, by the way. What are the 3 different types of inventory? So one type of inventory is the daily inventory, where we just address these questions. What are the questions? Like I said, these 4. Have I been resentful, dishonest, fearful, and selfish? And then what is the purpose? And then that's one type of inventory. Another type of inventory is whenever any of these emotions pops up, you take an inventory. Okay, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? How does it affect me? What is my part of this story or responsibility in this? Okay, so that's another type of inventory. And then the third type of inventory is the general fourth step inventory that we do when we're doing our fourth step, putting down everything that comes up as character defects and assets, character defects and assets. So there are three types, okay? In my personal experience, they are all interconnected. It's not like one is separate from the other. They all have their place. But the most effective one that keeps us grounded and humble is the daily one. Because when I look at my diary and I'm like, I hope there'll be one day, someday when none of those were present, that I lived a day completely aligned to Krishna's will. It happens and it feels so like, wow, let's say, yeah, that's the moment of feeling like you're back in Godhead. Okay. Well, okay, what is the purpose of continuing to take personal inventory? So Rupa Goswami, when he speaks about facing our demons, and when we're speaking about Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about the comparison with the demons and the anarthas, so taking personal inventory helps us discriminate and distinguish when the demon takes over, the demon in us takes over, and when the higher self takes over. And another purpose of taking this personal inventory is to keep the focus on Krishna. The keeping inventory is not about personal achievement, it's more about feeling connected to Krishna. It's more like, Krishna, I want to, like when we want to be healthy, we work out, we eat healthy to show to Krishna that, look, I want good health. So similarly, when we do personal inventory, the purpose is to show to Krishna that, Krishna, I value my sanity and emotional sobriety. I want to be a qualified devotee. I want to be the best version of myself that you can love. What will we achieve when we discipline ourselves to spot, admit, and correct our acquired defects and characters on a daily basis? We stop surviving and we start thriving. That discipline it becomes lifestyle. And like I said, sometimes I'm not writing, but I'm doing it in my mind when I'm traveling, when the hectic day. It's not that I have to depend on a piece of paper necessarily. That's after a while, because initially you need to. And sometimes I used to do it on the app. And then when I would travel, sometime just before going to sleep, before I just, okay, completely collapse into deep sleep, I do that inventory. Krishna, I'm offering this to you as my today's inventory. Have I been honest? Have I been selfish? Have I been resentful? Have I been fearful? Please take this away from me. I mean, there are attached prayers also when we have been what we do. Okay. Then, where was that? I wanted to show this part. I think it comes. Yeah, I mean, there's some more benefits. We get mental clarity. We start living in the present. Because when you, oh yeah, that's a big one. When I do these daily ones, I'm not ruminating about yesterday because I already did that. Already handed over the homework, submission is done. So 10th step is like the submission of that day. Krishna, I've been so selfish and I lost my temper and I did this. Krishna, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Please let me learn from this. And then I've handed it over. So I'm not carrying the unfinished work to the next day anymore. So that's also very, it helps me to let go and live in the present. Then behavioral change also, if we do that prayer, we are seeking from Krishna to shift, and then you will observe it. Next time the same trigger happens, you react differently. I want to share, one of you actually messaged me something very honest and something very sincere, very nice, how you're able to see that you're not triggered by the same circumstances that used to trigger you in the past. And you actually noticed that it's when you are sober and when you are sane, even if the circumstances are the same, you see development in you. So I was very happy and proud that you're able to get that recovery in your belt. It's like your karate lessons. You get a specific belt. So this belt of not being triggered by the same circumstances that you used to be triggered. So you can actually see it for yourself. You change, your character changes. So thank you. I'm not mentioning the names, but you know who I'm talking about. Okay, so spiritual connection. Have I begun to feel conscious of God in my life as a result of this step? That's actually the core of all this, to feel Krishna, to feel that connection stronger. Okay, so that's the presentation for today. I obviously do this whenever you're doing your step work, you can go through this document and get more information. Okay, anything else? Anyone else has any other comments or questions? We will do step 11 tomorrow. Let me
Hare
see.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I was wondering if you would give an example, like a straight up example, like how long it would take you, and just like give a full piece of what it would look like. It'll help me really capture
Sorry,
it nicely.
what's the second part? The full piece of, I didn't get that part.
Oh, so the full, like you do this daily 10 step 10 inventory. So if you would like kind of like a think out loud model out loud what that looks like.
Mm-hmm. First thing is, let's say resentment, okay? Today I'm doing my inventory and I found resentment there. So I ask myself, first of all, okay, I have been resentful. This was the situation. This is the emotion I feel. I really feel to like cut off all the plants or whatever whatever the resentment is. So how do I overcome that? There are some questions that you would ask yourself. First of all, I would say, do I want to be free of this resentment? It's a very important question. So do I want to be free of this anger and resentment? Sometimes the question is no. I want to live with it. So some spiritual people say, fine, then you're not a yogi, you're a karmi, you live with that, you act, you take the consequences, you live on, another lifetime goes by, and who knows how many other lifetimes. So the first question is, do I want to be free of this? So the path of the yogi, the answer would be yes, I want to be free of it. The path of the bogi or the karmi would be no, I want revenge. So then second question would be, do I want to continue being dominated by the actions of others or my own failings? That is also again the yogi and the bogi, there'll be different answers. So then I realized that, for example, okay, I'll give an example. There is a person that I felt resentful because they were stopping me from, they were putting obstacles on the path of me trying to do some service. Then I look at that person, this is with all honesty, right? All honesty. I realize that this person who I think has harmed me or is trying to harm me is spiritually sick. And they are driven by hundreds of forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, self-pity, just like me. So there's like a balance between the two. By the way, I can send you all, these are all part of the process, how to overcome. There are these pages 64 and 65, 66 of the AA book. They speak about this, to ask these questions, to look at this disease, the disease, the material bhava roga. In Bhagavad Gita, the concept comes that we are suffering from the material disease. I'm suffering. The other person who's trying to harm me is also suffering. So to acknowledge that the suffering is both sides. And the harm is sometimes is real, sometimes it's surreal, it's fancied, it's not even real. It's not personal. So it's an expression of self-centeredness, just like my harm to others. That's why fourth step helps us to be aware of my character defects. And then when I see other people's character defects, because resentment, anger comes when other person is trying to behave not so nice. Okay, this is the basic. And then I say, Krishna, please help me to see things from either their point of view, which may be completely a different angle, and please help me to show them tolerance, pity, patience. So this prayer is it goes something like, may this person, whoever, the Mataji, the Prabhu, the man, may this person be healed, because this person is also sick. How can I be of service to this person? Oh my God, it's so tough. I tell you to do this is tough, but Krishna, please save me from being angry. Let me not waste my pious credits, and being angry with this person. And may your will and not mine be done. It's like sometime maybe, okay, I'm not supposed to do that service for some reason. So, and note that I am the one who needs saving, not the other person. So to be careful also of the codependency. So I want to avoid retaliation. I want to avoid argumentation. Even in my mind, I don't want to argue. So I ask Krishna, please show me how to take a kind and tolerant view of a person or situation or institution. And when thoughts of resentment reoccur, I want to learn to bless this situation and move on with my day without that impacting and coloring every other aspect of my life. Similarly, there is for fear also. I realize that I'm scared because I think that I will not gain something that I want, or I will lose something I need. And then what if I'm not happy or satisfied, and self-reliance is failing me. So then we realize, Krishna, I know that you can provide me with everything. I just need to stay close to you. I don't have to depend on others. I make my decision based on you and your infinite powers. An example would again be like, please help me to be courageous and patient and tolerant and understanding and forgiving, and all the qualities of the soul. And another big one for me, more than resentment, more than fear, for me is often the guilt and the shame. So how to make amends for the recent harms. Sometimes, like I was making an amend with myself today. Don't waste your spiritual credits thinking about this person and maybe subconsciously cursing this person. Don't waste your spiritual credits on this. And then I said, oh, I need to make amend to myself that I actually want a life of peace. So, and then sometime if it's an external thing, if I haven't spoken it, it was all in my head. So there's no amend to make to the person. I tried it, by the way, and it backfires. I went to a person one day and I apologized because in my mind I was kind of offending that person or something. So I went and I apologized and I said, I'm so sorry. Actually, I was jealous about you, and therefore, and the person really didn't take it well because nobody ever approached that person and said something like that. So it really backfired, and that person went and told so many other people. It just didn't work. So we have to be very careful with whom and how we are doing this. So better to, if you want to express a regret, to say you were wrong, to do it with people that first, those people that you feel comfortable, not suddenly with somebody that you may not know how it'll go. And if it's your husband, wife, child, somebody close to you, you can ask, is there anything else I have done wrong? Is there something in some way I've hurt you? Those are making amends thing. That's step 8 and 9. And then you can also ask, what can I do to make things right? This is all part of step 8 and 9. How can I? And then you do it. It's not just asking, and you do it. Is that helpful?
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Then step 11, you'll also learn the whole thing about morning, how you pray, how to do the daily spot check in that mood, and then evening, how to do it. Tomorrow we'll talk about step 11. All right. Thank you very much for your attention. We will end here today. And if you have any questions, you can let me know and we'll try to address them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very well.